Okie dokie. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of the Almost Essential podcast. We figured out how to be almost good at this by now, I think. At least we're still trying.
Almost.
Someday we'll
Yeah.
figure it out. Lots happened last week. Let's see. Last little bit, we've missed a couple weeks because I've been traveling. There's been some family stuff I needed to go do, and then Monday was birthday, and we celebrated Joey's birthday a little bit late, and mine a little bit early. So it was one of those things where took a while to get it all together. But yeah, what's been going on with you?
Me, I've been losing at video games. We were winning for a bit, and then I lost everything today. Just like I
Everything?
bet it all. I bet it a lot. We're not down we're not down below. We're around 4,900 MMR, but it's a struggle. I don't know. There's been that. I played like over the weekend. Usually I just take Saturdays off. I took Saturday and Sunday off, and I just played The Witcher for
Mm-hmm.
like probably 20 hours worth of gameplay. It was
Enjoying it?
fantastic. Man, they did such a good job. Like I put that game off for so long and I was like, ah. But then I watched the TV show, and like the TV, the Netflix adaptation, and I was like, all right, you know what? I want a story. Like I want to play a story. So I started it, and now I just, man, it's so good. And I'm so sad that I'm like 2/3 of the way done. Taking my time, doing every single side quest.
Full
Make sure
completionist
that
mode? I see.
like we're not going full because you can't really go full him in like one playthrough because apparently there's like a lot of options and stuff
Mm-hmm.
where things don't like quite go the way that they're supposed to. But I really like how like you can't sometimes you can't do the right thing, and sometimes like you do what you'd think would be the right thing and you just make everything worse. Like I love that about the game. Like you really subverts expectations in the way that you kind of can't. It's impossible to just do the obvious thing that's good. You have to either really think things through, or you have to just try and adhere to what Geralt's principles are supposed to be, which is accept money for killing enemies, like or
Money for
killing
goods and
monsters.
services, Hitman style.
Yeah,
I see.
you're just you're basically just like you're a mercenary for hire that kills monsters instead of people. Generally speaking, it's a very interesting. It's a very interesting world. A very good game. Very good.
I
Yeah.
saw that your co-op today went pretty well. What's going on with that? Is it moving to your channel here? That's big news.
Yeah, so
To some degree, I
that
guess.
that we decided to do that like 2 weeks ago. Like basically what happened is that Hearthstone's doing ranked roulette again,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know if you remember is the series where he brings on a bunch of guests and they have to try and guess the rank of the
Yeah.
replay that they're like the ranks
The
of the
first
players of the
time I saw
replay
this
they're watching.
format was Jane Overwatch was the coach for the Dallas Fuel for a number of years, and he did something like that on stream and had viewers send in their games, and it was pretty fun. Hearthstone's
Yeah.
and your take on it's a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, ranked. So that ranked was 100% his thing. I just managed to go decently far with it, like when we did it.
Yeah.
But co-op companions is so basically something had to go. Like he has content 7 days a week, and since I already was uploading like half of the episode because we do a Tuesday and we do a Friday, and because we were already doing half of it on my channel, it makes natural sense for him to just bump it over. So it's not like it wasn't performing well. Like co-op companions was doing well, and the co-op community is quite big, and you know they watch quite a bit of content on YouTube specifically. So it's a natural move to put it on my channel, and yeah, we'll start that I think next week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Past week I've got my hands on a 3080 Ti and a 3090, which are
What did
the
you do to get them?
3090. So the 3090, apparently there's a waiting list for if you've been an EVGA customer, you sign up on their forums and you submit proof of purchase and all this stuff, and they have a program. And I hate to say it, but it feels like they're the only ones doing the program right, where it's first come first serve, and we have a batch of these, and so we'll lock them up, and then if you have a 8 hour window as soon as you get the email that says, hey, we've got one reserved for you, you can go pick it up, versus Best Buy's system of just dump it at a random time, maybe around sometimes 8
YOLO,
a.m.,
yeah.
and you might get a card, rolling dice that way. So EVGA sent me an email and I picked it up. And so I don't really need a 3090. It's kind of overkill for almost everything that I would do. And so I've been looking in to try to see what's the best way to get that to somebody that's would use it well and work with it. Might do like a Reddit post on the hardware swap or something like that. Maybe a community member, something like that.
If it was a 3070, I would ask you if I could buy it off of you. But 3080 Ti is just super overkill. Like same with the 3090 as well.
Mhm.
Like they're just too much. But I do. So I have a PC in my apartment, which is I put in a small form factor case that I want to be able to travel around with, and right now it's got a 970. So if I want to travel and have NVENC, I need to take a 2060 out of my streaming PC, toss it in there, and then travel.
Yeah.
So it would be real. Like if it were non GPU shortage time, I would just go to the store and buy a 1660 Super. But that is not possible. So I just haven't I haven't bothered because and it's also it'd be a really great time to have a spare GPU because right now if there's a GPU that dies on me, I'm in some trouble. Like because you're just so screwed.
Shit out of luck right now.
It's a shit show.
I was down bad for GPUs and couldn't get any. So like this is kind of weird having like an extra 3 on my hands right now. I might end up Joey actually expressed interest in the 3080 Ti, so I might sell that to him and then buy his 3070 off of him to like offset the cost. In which case, if you were interested in the 3070, you know.
Yeah, we could talk about it. Like how much it
works out with that.
Yeah, whether or not you want to keep it. Absolutely. I'd love that.
That might work out.
Having a spare. Is it a Founders Edition card?
I think it is actually because he got it from Best Buy. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So we'll see how that works. What else is going on? Crypto continues.
We don't have anything in the Linus field today. Actually, I don't think there's any tech stuff that Linus has talked about. So aside from me mentioning it because you mentioned it, Dan, I don't think I'm gonna be. I don't think there's anything to bring up. I could just check his YouTube. Let's see.
So at the point at which you like actually mention anything you see, he wins the prediction. But
yeah, I mean, that's cheating. I don't think he counts that one.
No, he can't count that.
If he wants to be that guy, then
sure,
he wins.
Sure,
absolutely, fine.
E3 happened. Devolver. I don't really have a lot that I felt like was impactful from E3. I watched, I don't know, maybe 40% of it. It feels like some of the content that was mostly funny was Devolver's show where they just, go absolutely
I actually caught a bit of that.
And it's like, here's the Devolver Elite Pass that means I don't fucking know what. I still don't know it, but it was hilarious. It was like a subscription service. Yeah, they played them into the meme really well. Like people are just so fucking over. Premium Elite Deluxe Pass. Multi.
Yeah, it was like really well produced.
Yeah,
like it was way better produced than most of the other ones that we saw.
In my opinion, that's what I watch E3 every year for and look forward to the most out of all the other stuff.
Right. I got what I wanted, which was Metroid Dread, which I didn't expect. So they announced Prime 4 is being worked on. I think they had to scrap it and start over, so that sucks. But Prime 4 is being worked on. Metroid Dread, which came out of nowhere, like literally no one had any idea this game was coming. It's coming out in October, which is really sick.
Oh, this year already?
Yeah,
damn.
Like
okay.
October of this year. They're just like, we're doing a 2D side-scrolling game, and
boom.
Metroid Dread has this huge history where like it's the sequel to Metroid Fusion. Like I don't know if you remember playing.
Not too
Metroid
much.
Fusion on Game Boy Advance like ages ago. So they announced that there was like low-key talk that there would be a Metroid Dread then, and that was like 2004, like in that era, and it was canceled. And like here we are in 2021, and they like revived the name, and then they're doing the 2D like side scroller thing, which is really sick. It's so it's like technically, I think it's number 5, right? Like it's technically jumping past Metroid Prime. So like the game that Metroid Prime is going to come out, and it's actually already like the sequel's already done. So like, spoiler alert, Samus survives. Like we already know.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really interesting how like they kind of like fill in the gaps there, because like Metroid's always been this really interesting series where they like give very little storyline every single time that they do a Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
So like they kind of are able to just jump in anywhere and never really create any like discontinuities or anything. It's kind of nice. It's kind of good.
Did you see that announcement of the vaporware looking thing of the console with the two things that dock inside it? And you're able to
No?
pick it up. It was like from, let's see, I think it was in television.
Yeah,
It felt like
Link.
it felt like such a meme that it didn't feel like real at all. Like I'm still not sure this isn't like a spoof or something like that along those lines.
I'd like to see what this is.
Here's a link for you, and I'll pull
What
up
in the
some
shit
graphic
is this?
for the
What
stream.
in the actual fuck?
I was just like, is this real? The whole time I was watching this.
What even is this?
So the guy on screen is the guy that does like the oof sound effect from like whatever it's famous from. I don't even remember, but like,
Is this like a bunch of like party games pretty much?
yeah, I found it kind of interesting that this was like something that they would show of just in general when like hardware is impossible to come by. This thing is long time ever coming to existence or whatever. But here's like an image of some of it on screen for their watchers.
That's actually really sick though. Like it looks kind of interesting.
He kind of played up into the whole bit about taking gaming back to like the couch experience in person, and it felt kind of different, kind of intriguing with it. I don't know how to accurately describe it other than just like, huh. It's something you see as vaporware at like a tech show or something, and then never comes out, right?
Yeah,
And then
it looks like it's honestly quite developed. Like what are these games don't look like they're not done. These games look like they're just party games. I don't know. Or are they games that already exist that are getting put on it?
it's some of both apparently. And
Okay.
if you own any of the games, you can bring one of the little controllers over to your friend's house. Like you would take your phone, you can take it over to your friend's house, and all the games you own, when you put it in his docket or whatever, it'll allow you both to play them or whatever. Like it was
That's
kind of
so
interesting. It's got like a whole bunch of sensors and controllers in the wheel, so it's more than just like the. I don't know if you remember the old SanDisk ones, media players.
Yeah.
Do you remember the SanDisk where you click the button?
Yeah.
But it was like it was really good for the time because Apple had the patent on touch, and we couldn't do anything with the actual touch screen there. But like it's kind of shitty for like actually controlling a game. There were no games for it, of course, but like this looks like they've tried to go above and beyond to make sure that there's a lot more actual physical control there with different ranges. It also, the harder you push the button, the more it
it's got haptic
works.
feedback.
Yeah, and force vibration, all that. It's like, huh. Other than that, I don't know. Those are only two things that kind of like stuck out to me at E3.
I didn't even catch this. But okay, so speaking of
what the fuck?
speaking of things that we haven't talked about yet, and
What's up?
didn't catch, Windows 11 leak.
Oh yeah.
Did
Okay.
you see that? Also known as Windows version, like Macintosh version. Like holy shit.
This
Could you like holy shit. Like Bill Gates out here stealing Tim Cook's homework. Like here, I'll copy it a little. Like it's okay. But don't worry, no one will know.
have you ever had
We'll get
a
a passing grade.
Chromebook and tried to move the actual taskbar though?
With a Chromebook?
Mhm.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you have a Chromebook. Doesn't matter what developer, like IBM, Lenovo, whatever the fuck it is, Asus. Hardware doesn't matter. You could take the control bar at the bottom, and you can put it on the left, you can put it on the right, but you can't put it on the top.
Okay.
It annoys the shit out of me because this is how I use Windows. And then I see this crap coming to Windows, and I'm like, well, at least I know I can modify Windows enough to remove this, because this looks like absolute like.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't
a
want any
Mac
part of
ripoff,
this.
but like they didn't
It's
have
even
the
worse.
wherewithal to remove the sides. Like the bar goes all the way across. Okay, all right, and then they put it in the middle, and it's like, dude, just cut the bar. Like, just listen, just steal it. Like, it's okay. They're not gonna sue you. Like, you're gonna be fine.
It was like,
You know?
hey, don't copy my home, or you can copy my homework, but don't
Yeah,
make it
and
obvious.
then,
And they were like,
bro, they went further.
can we copy
Like,
the homework though and make it obvious? Like,
we're going with the cheeky rounded corners on windows. Like, that's
uh-huh.
another one too. That's another design choice. Like, you seen that? It's fucking fantastic,
I'll pull
man.
up
Like,
some
it's actually
images here.
Macintosh.
It literally feels like it, except for like
It
the
fucking does. It really does.
translucent
Like,
effect a little bit was a little bit different than what I'd kind of expect from Macintosh. It felt like a little
yeah.
bit Windows there. But when I look at, so I'll pull up two images. Here's the first one. This one feels like a little bit more like Windows to me. It's like, sure, kind of, I get it, I see it. But there's like a translucent effect. It's got the Windows icons. It's, I don't like it.
Yeah, like,
But
so for
when we
me,
go to
yeah, for
this,
me,
then we go
yeah.
to this one here, and we have this shit. Maybe it's just the color white. Maybe it just looks
Yeah,
all
I think
terrible and white.
it's just like
And it's
really
just,
awkward looking, for sure. I like, first of all, like, this is just looks like shit because you have it center justified, but in the right corner you still have the old shit there.
yeah, like,
So it looks like shit because it has no cohesiveness. Like, they really should have it centered with the stuff in the corner, like, kind of like a line, and then have everything on the right.
I'd
Because
almost
this
say
looks like
like
ass.
drop it down the top middle or whatever, like dead top middle of your screen, kind of like where the camera
Yeah,
notch is on
I would
phones. I
say
would be okay with that even if you could like
that's a
pop it up
personal
and go away with it, make it
yeah.
float around somewhere. I don't know, but
That's a personal preferencing, like the top bar, because I don't think most people use it
oh
that
no,
way.
I mean like
Um,
I mean default Windows experience. Like leave what's here, like leave the row of icons at the bottom, but take the date,
yeah.
time, and like the notifications and grab just that little
Oh,
corner and throw
yeah.
it up
Oh,
in the
but
top
then
middle.
no, but then Apple would sue them. Jesus. Like, yeah, no. Listen, like, I think the aesthetic is good here. I like to pick on them because this is literally like they've conceded, that Mac has better design language, and that's what that looks like, like here. And I think because the reports were earlier on, that when Windows 10 released it would be the last version of Windows. Like,
hmm
they were like, this is the final version of
Windows as a
Windows.
service is here. This is just getting updated forever.
Yeah, we'll just update it from here. But my experience owning a Surface Book, like a Surface Book 2,
hmm
taught me that it probably isn't gonna be, because it's fucking terrible for a tablet experience. Like, and this is why I sold my Surface Book 2 and I bought an iPad Pro. I went that route because I wanted to write on it a lot. And even though it's gimped, it's not as powerful. Like, obviously I use Windows day to day, but the tablet experience on the Surface Book 2 was so fucking bad that, like, it was like I would rather have a machine that does less but does it right,
hmm
as opposed to a machine that runs Windows but, like, constantly fucks up. Like, it was just so bad. I couldn't stand it anymore. So yeah, I sold it and picked up an iPad Pro. And obviously, like, actually I picked up an iPad Air 4 and then I sold that and picked up the Pro because you get a lot for that $200. Like, you get Face ID, 120 hertz refresh,
Yeah,
fucking double the storage.
like
Like,
it's
that's the
no brainer. Like
easiest $200 you fucking ever spend going up, and you get M1, so you get all of that shit in one. And I'm sure over the next couple of years you'll see iPads sort of blend more into macOS. That's like aside. This is kind of an aside,
it's fine. We're
but
going on a circle.
I completely understand why they did a Windows 11, because apparently the way that this is supposed to work is that it's supposed to be sort of designed from the bottom up as a tablet, like, tablet friendly OS.
Like
Right, so it's a very
Windows
easily
8.1. Anybody?
fuck. Yeah, I mean,
They've been
I think
trying this
what
for a
we
long time, but it's just like,
yeah,
ugh.
I think what we've learned is that trying to just, like, make a tablet oriented version of your already existing OS doesn't really work. Like, you need to design things from the ground up so that they kind of work. They kind of work better. Like, traditional multitasking, like with resizing of Windows and stuff, is like one of the worst things that Windows couldn't get right. Like it just couldn't fucking do it when it comes to like using your finger to drag around. And that's something that Mac gets right. Like, you can only open two windows. Sure, that seems like a limitation, but when you see how easily everything fits in, and they have very like well-designed structures for what it is when an app is 1/3 size, 2/3 size, full size, half size, right? Like they know exactly how everything should be shaped, and apps don't do stupid things. Like they do exactly what you'd expect. They resize text as they should.
There's a lot
And
more consistency with it.
Exactly. And like, sure, on Windows, I can have 4 fucking windows, like one in each corner on my tablet. That's great. But like, if nothing works when you do that, like how fucking useful is that? It's not useful. It's garbage, you know? Like, so it's right, I think, that if they really do want to be the OS that will run on anything, they need to start. They started from scratch, and I'm very curious to see how well it works. Especially because there are ARM laptops, like ARM tablets and stuff are coming out now that are next like 3 to 4 years, like I'd say 2 to 4 years, you'll probably start to see ARM powered tablets and laptops that can compete with M1 because Apple has a massive head start in that department, but they won't be on top forever. So ARM for Windows needs to improve, and I'm very curious to see like how that'll all shake out, like which OS will actually be better at it.
Well, I think Windows has a little bit more time now, or I should say Microsoft has a little bit more time now that Apple, like everybody was expecting them to drop a new laptop with the new chip and everything inside it, the last thing that they held a couple days, 2 weeks ago or whatever, and they didn't.
Yeah, the WWDC.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name on it. Thank you.
Well, everyone was really expecting them to do more, to make iPad OS more like Mac OS. That was the big expectation. You've got these M1 iPads, because if you look at what an M1 iPad can do under the hood and how much it costs,
it's a lot of horsepower under there.
It's a fuck ton of horsepower in like an actual like professional tablet experience, like drawing tablet, like a professional drawing tablet. And if you get the M1 with the 13-inch, you get one of the best displays you can get. Period. With the mini LED shit in the back, which is like with all the local dimming zones and stuff, which is super crazy. And they've just floundered on that. So like, instead of having, basically you come out of that still looking like the M1 MacBook Air looks like a pretty good deal, right? Because if they had done like a Mac OS, iPad OS, like getting closer with a crossover, I mean, the iPad Air looks like a joke, right? For the same price as the MacBook Air, you get all the same performance, and then you get the fucking pencil experience and the touch experience, and all this shit fits in like a, it's literally just, tiny. So, but now instead it looks still like they keep their product, and I think that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of literally killing their own product line with, upgrading that. And I don't think anyone was really expecting like an M1X or an M2 yet. Like, it's still too soon. Like, they have no need. There's a chip shortage, and like you're already fucking the competition like it's your day job. Like, there's no chance. Like, no one is gonna release an ARM processor that's even close for 1.5 to 2 years. It's just not gonna happen. They're too far ahead. The kind of gains that would need to be made are more than most companies make in 2 years. Like, it'd be very surprising to see an ARM chip compete. So they've got time to iron stuff out. I'm not surprised I didn't see that. But what most people were expecting was, you just put M1 in iPad. How are we gonna run with that? And they didn't really do shit. So I was kind of disappointed.
The way the new 3060s, 3070s run inside a laptop these days is phenomenal with how they do on power management and power usage.
Yeah.
I kind of really hope that like Microsoft like reaches back and just pulls out like a home run for people and enables Windows 11 to work really, really well on a mobile unit without overdoing it or boogering it up too much with the UI interface. And we get if I can buy a laptop with an M1 chip in it and like a 3070 inside it, like if you're able to sell that and recommend that to people, and it happens to run Windows where you can game, you can do your video editing, like people like me can do music editing or audio editing, a production environment where I can run OBS from that thing, I can run InVank from my laptop, like that, it's going to be phenomenal. But
Yeah.
I think Microsoft doesn't exactly have a track record of, shall we say, hitting home runs with things like this, and Apple's so far ahead. I don't know that it'll ever happen, but
Yeah, I
we'll
don't know
see.
if so. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Microsoft is too heavily invested in ARM for now because on the higher end laptops, they still outperform ARM's M1. Like the highest end Intel chip can still do like compare very well. The difference is just that you will consume like 10 times the amount of power to do like 1.5 times the performance, right?
I think
It's
that
not
most of the tasks that people are doing on laptops though are okay with that trade-off. And like,
the it's up for grabs these days because laptops have gotten really good. Like AMD pushed laptops further than they've ever been pushed, and now
yeah,
Intel has actually responded. Intel it has reclaimed the throne apparently, from what I've seen. Intel has actually taken it back, and they are the fastest chip you can get in a laptop at the moment with the 11 series. Um, which is curious because AMD was really far ahead, and they're still not as good in the desktop realm. But yeah, the biggest issue for them on laptops is just it's actually the fact that you can only fit a certain size battery, and that informs how much power delivery it can actually handle. Period. So like, oftentimes you're like routing, you know, depending on the task, you're routing more power to your GPU or more power to your CPU, but never both, because the laptop actually can't handle that much power. So one of them is getting throttled, and they're not running at full capacity, both of them, all the time, which is interesting. Like I've looked at it a lot because I do. As soon as like restrictions are up around here, like I want to go spend time with my family and stuff. I want to bring a PC or whatever, and that was like heavily informed my decision on like what I was gonna do. Was I gonna buy like a 2K 2 grand laptop that had actual cooling and a really good AMD processor in it that could do like heavy single threaded, or was I going to build a small form factor PC, which is what I ended up doing because I had a lot of the parts already and stuff.
right.
But like I was a tough choice because NVENC has gotten really good. Like NVENC is obviously good, and the laptops can all run them, so that's not really a problem. Yeah,
I,
portability is a tough one.
portability is the big thing. A lot of people find it very hard to carry around a football type thing, especially if they're doing
Yeah.
airplanes and
Oh,
need to take their own
it's out of the
monitor with them.
question to travel
It's
on
just,
airplanes with it for sure.
it's
Sucks.
like a lot of it still comes down to what the actual issue is with power management, and that's where most of the things and most of the decisions it feels like are like the driving force that determines a lot of the design decisions within most of these devices, because uh, battery tech hasn't really advanced a lot in the past
Yeah.
decade. Well, we've had amazing improvements in, oh, look at our silicon got 7 nanometers smaller in the past decade, or probably a lot more. I don't know. I'd have to go look up what 10 years ago was, but it feels like that's where the next development might end up happening, is with
Yeah.
chips, and it'll be related to power somehow. And with the chip shortage right now, it's hard to say that we're going to see any relief anytime soon of this. So,
Yeah. For sure.
ay, ay, ay.
I that batteries have held us back a lot. But I mean, obviously, the biggest thing about batteries that holds us back, especially with laptops, is that like you can only carry a 100-watt battery on an airplane. So
Yeah.
that's the actual reason that you can't have more battery life than you have.
I
That's
mean,
just
hey, they eventually finally lifted the thing about, hey, you can't have a phone call and use your phone on an airplane. Like, think about all the
yeah.
years that they had forced that, and people just like willy nilly went against
Did
them, and
they?
it
Is that
didn't make.
finally not enforced anymore?
It's
Because like the
finally not
last time I
enforced.
flew.
They finally
Okay.
not enforced it for like the past like 2 years, I think, easily.
Yeah.
They haven't
The
actually
last
enforced
time
it
I flew,
because
they were like, yeah, in takeoff and landing, like you can't use your phone. I was like, okay.
there's we're so far beyond why that rule exists now. It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
so I
Agreed.
feel like we're almost there with battery tech of just being like, okay, can we do a bigger battery now? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you had like a 150-watt battery, could you build an explosive with it? Like, I don't know. Like, that's the
I'm almost
worry.
at the point where like, I think you could build something more dangerous with something much smaller at this point, rather than the
Right.
batteries. So
Yeah.
keeping the entire human race back, is it worth
Well,
like
the
the
question is
lives
like
of one or two? Like,
it's
it's a
more like
bad
the fact that
decision.
if you have another object on a plane, right? You're bringing it on the plane, like it's very clear that that's not a laptop. Like everyone
Hmm.
has a laptop, right? So you can get that through the scanner no problem, right? Because everyone has a laptop and they know that those are allowed. But like if you bring another object that was more dangerous and smaller, like that might not pass the inspection.
Right.
I would like to think that it's more thought out than that. Like then it's just
You
like
give a lot of credit to the
like
NSA,
yeah, I mean or
and
yeah, maybe that's the
mm,
case, but I don't know. 100-watt does seem like a really weird limit considering you get like there are a lot of laptops like 99 watt. Like is it 50 watts too low? Like is it 100 watts higher than that? That's the problem. Like I don't understand. Like what is the actual? Is it by volume? Like I'm not 100% sure.
I know every time I take my Alienware M17 through, it's like a very, very old one, very, very old, but
Yeah,
it's like this thick, right? Every time I
yeah,
take that thing through, they always like, it doesn't matter if I pull it out. They like double take a look at it. What the fuck is this great big thing? And every
yeah,
time I fly with the GPU, like a physical, I have a 2080 that I sometimes fly around with so that I can use different machines wherever I land. Every single time, I just plan an extra 15 minutes for them to like go through it. It's just like oh, so much metal on
oh,
the thing. Like I wish there
yeah.
was a better way to deal with it, but what can I do?
So when you travel, you take the GPU out. Is that what you do?
Yeah. Every time I do
Yeah.
travel with a computer case, I put the well, especially now, I'll put the case on uh, luggage where they take it away from you. I can't English. Under
Oh,
the storage, right?
yeah. When it goes
Checked
through
baggage. That's it.
checked baggage.
And
Yeah.
then I take the GPU out and put it in my backpack. To where, especially nowadays, with that being half the cost of the entire PC,
Yeah.
like it makes the most sense. But
Yeah, it really is. Like if I sold my main rig right now, like the GPU is worth more than the entire thing. It actually is worth more than everything. I have a
2021,
2070. Yeah, that's where we're at.
Intel's fabrication stuff is spinning up in what 3 years? They're making GPUs when it does happen, but that's a long way
Yeah, well,
off.
I mean, who knows? Like, apparently the Bitcoin stuff, like now that yeah, the Chinese government is like cracked down on Bitcoin mining. Apparently the cost of GPUs dropped like a rock. Like that's what I read. I didn't go too further than the headline on that, but I'm very curious how much it dropped.
It feels like there has
Off.
been a decent wave of GPU availability in the past like month or so
Well, yeah, I mean,
because
like
they
just
launched
fucking
two
look at crypto,
and
man. Jesus
it
Christ,
just dive bombs.
Doge's in goddamn shambles, man. Like, oh,
They're in
Ethereum
more
down to
shambles than your L
1,800.
gang, huh?
Oh, dude, L Gang looks like a bunch of millionaires compared
Today
to
they were
these.
looking amazing, but yeah.
Yeah, hold on, let me see what the what's
For those of
the
you unaware, L gang and W gang are the people that bet Twitch points in
yeah
Sal's stream.
the
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Doge
harder
is
you
up
go with that
8%
meme,
today. Well,
better.
yeah, it dropped down to what, like 16 cents? Holy shit! Of course, it better be up, or there's gonna be a lot of really upset, sad people, man. Holy shit! Let me see, what's Doge at now? Yeah, 18 cents.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
My brother
it was
actually was surprisingly doing well with this stuff. He bought like $50 of alternate coin in like four different things, and they like a year ago, and then came back and they're all pretty
nice.
decent. So
He's killing it.
he's saving it up for his wedding. It's gonna be a big thing.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, like all of the major coins are down, right? But well, Bitcoin's 32K, so it tanked down to 29K and then jumped up immediately to 32 again. But everything is just like Cardano's down to $1.15. Um, yeah, it's all scuffed, dude. So like you actually might see
We might see a
you
little bit
actually
of
might
relief soon.
dude, yeah, we might see some GPUs like available for purchase relatively soon. Let me see if I look up what could I get a 2060 for on Facebook Marketplace right now if I wanted to pick up a 2060. Oh, like you already know what's getting better, man, because I have right here gaming PC RTX 3060 is on this like Facebook Marketplace. $1,500. That's literally what you could buy a 3060 for. Like,
It's
yeah,
it's
holy
changing.
crap. Okay, hold on, let me see. 2060. Uh yeah, well 2060 is still gonna run you looks like 950. That's insane. A 1660 is $550 around me right now. God, that's insane.
There's actually
1660
been
Ti.
a swelling of these posted on Amazon and Reddit recently because I was looking to actually sell. So
Of what?
of like GPUs of the 3000 series and
Oh, 3000
specifically.
series GPUs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Let's see what else is going on. It feels like we've missed so much. Let's see. There's the Twitch meta with follow up on hot streams. We go to
Oh,
we went from what is it, from ASMR to hot tubs back to ASMR, but now it's full on animal mask meta. But we get to see a whole bunch
that's
more.
over because that was part of the ASMR ear licking yoga extravaganza. What a meta, dude! Holy shit! But I mean, that's over now. They banned them, so that meta's dead. I'm so curious as to how they're gonna break that next. Like,
Let's see.
fuck.
Oh, here's a clip of the pigeon.
It's actually just like a branching timeline where
I
they
don't
just
get banned for showing this clip, right? The one with the pigeon I showed you earlier. Should be fine.
I mean, if it's still there,
It's still
it's
there. They
fair
haven't
game.
banned it, right?
That is actually the funniest fucking thing I have literally ever seen in my life. Just, well, you don't know the part that actually fucking gets me? Like, that ear thing is like a couple grand, right?
Oh, the microphone?
Yeah.
It's very expensive, yeah.
It's a very expensive thing. Like, could you imagine?
And they're just hammering the
fucking
shit out of
bashing
it with
off
this
your
fucking
face?
bite. Like it's
I
almost
inwardly cringe, like, and not because the content is cringy, because I feel bad for the piece of hardware. Like,
I know.
imagine just taking your fucking monitor and just for content, dude.
Hey, tune in next week when you'll see me take a 2060 and hammer in nails with it. Like,
oh, don't do it to me, man.
That'd be too much.
Yeah.
So Indy what's her face and Amaranth have been
Indy
banned
Fox
and
and
Indy Fox, that's it. And Amaranth have been banned and unbanned in the past. They're usually up in like 3 days. There's actually a site that's kind of funny that shows how recently people have been banned and like the number of times they have been banned, and it's like
they're both at like
Indy,
4 or Amaranth at like 4.
Indy's at I think this might have been a third or fourth, and then Indy's at 5, but they've all been less than like 3 days or like 3 days on the nose type of thing. It's just like,
well, they fall off after a couple months, I'm pretty sure.
In terms of like,
they don't count. Like if you get 3 straight strikes, you're out.
Right.
So like if you, I think they stay on
like
your
driver's
record
license,
for 3 months,
depreciate or whatever, a little over time.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to see that some people are up to 5 and 6, and they're just.
Well, yeah. I mean, you stream for
offenders.
like 6 years. It's a lot of 3-month periods, man. It's a lot of metas to explore.
I actually this morning I clicked on Amaranth's channel because it was like recommended to be in my feed, and I'm like, oh god, what is this? And she's doing unban requests, and somebody goes, they were shit talking her and saying you have no skill or talent or anything, and she goes, first of all, okay, true, and second of all,
oh my god,
second of all, it's
hilarious.
just like, God, I lost the train of thought. What it was, and it's just like, um, not yeah, it's gone now. Her take on it is just hilarious. Of just like, okay, this is what it is, and yeah, congratulations,
She
jump
give a
on board.
fuck.
Like, she doesn't care. It's fine.
I just give a fuck. She shouldn't give a fuck. You know? I mean,
Oh,
and like,
that's what it was. I remembered it because it was relevant to the point I was trying to make. She goes like, "I'm not." The guy getting banned was talking about you're taking away viewers from Twitch, like other gamers, right? And her response was, "I'm not taking away viewers from gamers because if they wanted to watch games, they'd be watching games. I'm taking viewers away from Pornhub, and they're coming here to watch." She literally said Pornhub, like,
yes, dude. Fuck it, man. Like, being ruthless like that. Like, I was like on board with the hot tub meta because like I didn't really see like just what chilling in a hot tub was like actually what harm that's actually doing in the world. Like that's like whatever. They made a fucking category for it. That's fine.
yeah,
Like obviously, so their business model is living on the edge. Like I would never have my business model like imagine being a taxi driver, okay?
mm-hmm.
But your only rule is that you're driving at 350 kilometers an hour all the time. Like
there's
that is your
gas
mantra.
is
Like
just
you are
smashed.
the fastest taxi driver in the world. You drive faster than a fucking train. Okay? You are driving at Mach speed, like everywhere. All right? And you're just going to crash sometimes. That's just how it works. I could never do that job. Like I'd like to be a cheeky 60 km an hour, like sturdy cab. Nobody's. I'm not crashing into objects. No one's afraid of me when I come around the corner. That's fine. But like, I understand what their business model is. They're just whatever whenever like holes in the rules they can exploit, they do, and that's it.
So the other thing I found really funny when I was looking up, I was like, I wonder what's going on with the actual hot tubs and pools and category, whatever it is, now that it's termed. So I went to look and what the viewer count of this whole entire
Oh, I'm
category was, because I
excited
was
for this.
interested. And I forgot what it was, because it didn't matter after I saw this, because this was the number one stream there, okay? You ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
It's like kind of zoomed in, or like it's not zoomed in
Yeah,
at all, so it's hard to tell.
the cool
But we
stuff
have
on
up
Twitch.
here, we have this fucking otter chilling up here. There's like 2 or 3 otters up at the top right corner, actually,
Yeah.
which is amazing and cute. And the title is Marine Mammal Rescue, coldest tub on Twitch, hottest otters, no bikinis. Like,
It's actually 10 out of 10. It's great.
I wanted to just like give whoever did this a round of applause. Like, they had a good 2,000 viewers chilling around just watching otters and cold tubs.
Yeah. It's almost become that entire category just become like a meme of the meta now. Like
Yeah.
you got dudes like with fake boobs like on there, just wearing them like over top of everything, just sitting in a fucking like inflatable tub, like in the middle of their living room. Yeah, it's just so
giving
good.
zero fucks.
Just zero
Ludwig's
fucks.
girlfriend, somebody told him, like, hey, go turn into girlfriend's stream. They're in the same house. He turns into his girlfriend's stream, and she's got, like, a pair of joggers on. And the backside of them, she's stuffed with, like, what looks like 2 pillow cushions from, like, a couch or whatever.
Whoa!
So it's just, like, 400% bigger than it should be. And he's just, like, he didn't even know this was happening in his own house. He just, like, face palms and laughs. It's just, like... Oh god, it's just hilarious.
Holy shit.
One of the things
Yeah.
that's funny on this tag especially was they had auditory ASMR as one of the tags on this otter stream. Like, all you can hear is water, but they're fucking memeing it
That's
up.
good.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, they're just playing off everything. That's good. But yeah, I think we're kind of at the like the we've sort of reached like a lull with that, right? Like we're very much back to square one. Like I think most of the streamers who are using the hot tub meta and stuff, they're back to just like normal now.
Mhm.
Like they're just doing what they were doing before. It's just interesting. Like I couldn't even have believed the hot tub meta if you told me before it happened. Like it's like I'm just very curious as to what the next
I
the
saw a
next
clip of
meta is.
XQC actually talking about an interesting take on this, where he said, you know that rule that they had, that they still have, I think, this is me paraphrasing, that there's not supposed to be any cleavage shown on Twitch, and then he like pointed his hand toward his screen that was like
Yeah.
amaranth way up in the air, and it's like
Yeah.
Twitch moderator, like I see he opened his Twitch chat, Twitch moderators, I see some Twitch staff in here. Do you see this? Like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
who's
I
enforcing
think the
this?
rule
This
is like.
it's just like rolling ball of like, where are we?
I think the rule is supposed to be that you're not supposed to be focusing on it. Like it's not supposed to be the focus of the stream. Because
Mm-hmm.
like obviously you're allowed to wear bikinis, so that's not true. Like that is like this gets into interpretation waters where like what is like, overtly sexual or whatever, because if you're allowed to wear a bikini on stream, that clearly is just false. Like it's not you have to get into like, is it the focus of the stream? Is it, what are we doing in that regard? So I think that's why that isn't necessarily. I understand what he's trying to say, but like it's clearly not a very nuanced take in my opinion. Like it just doesn't really
Yeah.
factor in what's actually going on, like on
Oh,
the stream
I'm not
itself.
saying it's a serious take at all. It's
No,
just totally
absolutely.
humorous. And
Yeah, yeah,
well, if you have a link for this, a Crass Culture in chat has a link for a diva outfit, a dude in a diva outfit in a kiddie pool in
yeah.
his garage. I haven't
I
seen
didn't
this,
see
so
it, but I could believe it. Yeah.
oh, you have a link for something. Oh, okay.
Okay.
We got excited for kiddie pool with diva in a garage.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, the cleavage of Twitch. Yeah. I don't know if Twitch will ever take the foot off the gas, and I kind of think there's a mode where, like you kind of mentioned this, you know how some platforms like TikTok and other places like take off very, very quickly with how they implement something and they just go ham with it, and then they're way overdoing it. They're at 3,000 miles an hour. If Twitch wants to become big and grow, I kind of understand why they're like embracing that to some degree. And it might actually be, if you're pulling, I don't even know if I can show, I guess I can show that. If they might be pulling enough traffic away from other sites like that people would browse that also consume live video content of some nature, where they throw money to go cha-ching. People do things.
Yeah.
I don't know if like is that what it takes for Twitch to grow big? Is that what we want? Do we have a say
really
if we're not a partner? Like,
yeah, from Twitch's perspective, I think it's very simple. They have viewers and they make money, and like that's it. That's actually fucking hilarious. That's so insane. Like, yeah. Anyway, that like, yeah. With I think from Twitch's perspective, like, as long as it doesn't like literally just annihilate the rules, I think they're gonna be okay with it.
yep.
Because why wouldn't they? Like, and that was kind of what the most recent meta was. Like, you have to figure out what the line is, because otherwise it just ascends indefinitely, right?
And make Twitch move the line just a little bit, and then get banned.
Yeah, but
make
they
it move
clearly
a little
won't.
bit more. And it's like,
I think Twitch knows exactly
temporarily
what the line
timed
is.
out, but yeah. I'm not like permanently banned. It's just like they're constantly forcing Twitch to move the line a little bit, or create.
Well, I think it's very clear that they can't do that again. Like, they can't do the one that they recently did again. They'll just get insta banned, and I think that's why they take their time to like really flesh out like what the rules are and make sure that they're like not that it's a proper interpretation. And in that way, I respect why Twitch would take their time with it. I mean, it's I can't be that guy that gets very mad that they ban people for no fucking reason, and then also be mad that they took their time, like, because that is them like banning people for a good reason and them taking their time to make sure that they have the correct interpretation. Like you can't simultaneously be upset that people are getting banned because people are like bans are happening too quickly and they're not being the nuance isn't being like weighed in and whatnot, and then also get upset about it being too long. Like I prefer that bans took too long than not.
Then they
I
jump the gun and
prefer
ban somebody unjustly, and then it sets
absolutely,
bad
man. Because
policy. I'm kind of with you. I'm not. I'm very much with you on that. I'd rather this take their time because they haven't done a really good job with policy. They tend to be doing a little bit better occasionally. Like
yeah,
there's
I
been a
think the
couple
thing for
victories
them,
recently that make it seem like
yeah,
they're trending in the right direction.
definitely, I think that things seem to be better than they were. I think transparency is still shit,
Yeah.
and I would prefer that. I prefer that they up the number of strikes, for example, especially for sometimes they'll ban people for like a week or 3 days, and then there was a mistake, and they'll unban them, but they won't. There's no like compensation for that. Like it just kind of there's a lot of things that are still really really fucked up in how that entire thing is handled. Like it just yeah. But I just I respect the fact that they have a clear stance. Like they clearly have a stance on well, when it comes to what you can kind of get away with, specifically with like camera angles and whatnot. Like it's very clear that if you make your stream all about focusing a camera on like a particular body part, like you're fucked. Like you're gonna get banned. That's just and that's in the rules. Like
Hmm.
that was actually the most logical, like the most reasonable take I saw on it was like in the rules it clearly says like you can't take a camera and point at your ass for like an entire stream. You can't do that. Like it can't be the focus of your stream, and it was in those two metas, and that's why they got banned. Right. So like I think so. Kraskell was talking about like also no feet Monka TOS. Like
That's the only
yeah,
thing for a while. Yeah.
I don't think that's really the case. It's more like you can't just like to put your feet in the webcam and like that's like the only thing on stream, because like obviously if you couldn't have no feet, then like people would get banned for like just walking around.
Yes, but if I
Like
like lean my chair way back against the wall, put my feet up on my desk so they're like a good
you
30%
won't
of
get
the
banned.
screen, and just like flex them and talk to chat for 3 hours.
Oh yeah. All right.
Like,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Then it becomes like a different thing.
yeah.
Um. Yeah, but like so a lot of times like you see people have like the misconception that dudes can't have their shirt off on stream. That's false. Like you can. You have to be working out or outside or like whatever. Like
Hmm.
guys can be on Twitch with their shirt off. Like that's an actual thing.
And if you're at the beach
So
and actual playing in the ocean, you can
yeah,
wear a bikini and you're a woman, and it's still fine. It's like
yeah, yeah. Or in a pool in your living room. Like it's
in
fine.
your garage and on a banana,
No,
on a pickle.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what do you got coming up
yeah.
this next week? What are you looking forward to?
Nothing. Just gonna practice and play. I'm looking forward to laddering. Like that is my.
The
It's
grind bug has hit
I've
you?
yeah. I've really been enjoying it. I enjoy losing for other people's enjoyment. It's great. But yeah, no, the current meta is like really fun with the betting meta and stuff. I need to figure out a better way to deal with the win and loss thing, cuz like uh I reached out like on the in the partner Discord, like hopefully we can get it implemented. I really would like to undo the like when you know finish a bet or whatever, sometimes I fuck it up because like I have to, queue a game, start the game, close the bet, start a new bet, like, and then sometimes in that process I accidentally choose the wrong, like, who won? Did I win or lose? Sometimes I choose the wrong one, and I would like to be able to undo that if I made a mistake.
How much of the API have you looked into seeing if you can just
It
bind
just
it to
came out.
Stream Deck? Or
Yeah, like I messaged in the Stream Deck like Discord or in
Mhm.
the Bar Raider Discord as well, and they haven't answered yet. I'm hoping that they eventually do that there. That's the best like situation. If it goes like a month longer and there's nothing, I'll just write it myself because I can.
I
But
think that
like
would
I'm
help a bunch of
sure,
people. It's just got to pull like
yeah,
you have a set set of information, so we can just type it in. It doesn't even have to like auto pre-fill from Twitch. Like if you're doing it from the mod view, it pulls it from the recent. You could just have that type up.
Yeah.
The other thing is like having a second PC where you have a second mouse and clicking it, but like not a lot of people have that, and it would be nice if you could put it on a Stream Deck for sure.
Yeah, because then I could just have it like a big W and a big L.
Mm-hmm.
So if I win, then I close it for W, and if I lose, I close it for L. But like, it isn't really. It's a lot more confusing when you're closing it in the dashboard than that. It's not like quite as obvious. It's not obvious on the fly. Like if I take a second to really think about it, obviously, like I'm not gonna fuck it up. But
yeah. Having mods can only help so much. 'Cause you can't expect everybody to be on all the time. And
the real problem is that all of my moderators decided to fucking quit. Yes.
Give me a second.
All of my moderators decided to quit because they wanted to be degenerate gamblers instead. Like, I should really add Death again because now he could make the bets at least. So that solves that problem. If I make my most degenerate mods, like, put them back, because a lot of them literally revoked their mod status to bet instead.
Like, I can bet as a mod now. They fixed that.
Now you can.
But I can't close it.
They bet anyway, so they can't close it.
So then it's almost as good as not having it. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. I just need to make sure that I'm more methodical in my closing of bets.
Mm-hmm. They can
you can unmod yourself. I can't even force them to do it.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
I mean,
most
of the time that I'm working and you're streaming, you're up on my second monitor, and so like I have 107, I think, that I don't usually bet. I'm usually like, oh, nobody else is doing it. I'll hop on and start the predictions, so I don't usually end up betting. I saw your better half come in and whisper you need to run.
Yeah, I think it's time for me to. I think that's it for.
It might be time I need to get going anyway.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You had to go 18 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I'll think I'll make it. It's been worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you everybody for joining us. We got a couple things going that are progress. We now have a theme song picked out. We've got some of the editing for the first 3 done. Now I only have editing for 4 in this one to do. We've got a new logo for the Twitch channel. Crass Culture made this. Looks pretty neat. Appreciate it.
Does look pretty good.
Yeah. I need to put a white background on that. It'll stand out a little bit more pop, but if you're using Twitch in dark mode, it doesn't quite show up as well as it should. But other than that, we are making progress on the podcast stuff. It's just slower because of in real life events. Took me away for a little while, but we're on there. We're back. Thank you for watching. Any final shout outs?
Nah, check out my Twitch channel, but most of you already know where that is. And if you do and aren't there, then I imagine it's because you don't like me.
In which case, go check out his YouTube channel because that subscription's free and you can pick which parts you get to watch. Okay. I think that'll do it. Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
Have a great evening.
Ciao.